They smirked when I walked into that law office as if I was just there to watch them celebrate what they thought they'd stolen, but my father was always 3 moves ahead, and today was checkmate. The office rire of money and legacy, thick carpets, dark wood, and heavier egos. My stepmother Lorraine lounged like she owned the place. Her adult children Mason and Tessa were already fantasizing out loud. A yacht, the 60-footer, Mason said, still swiping through listings. I want a house in Nantucket, Tessa, amused, flipping her bleached curls. Something tasteful, just 8 bedrooms. Lorraine smiled, patting their hands like some benevolent queen. We'll go over the investments after the formalities, she said, casting me a venomous glance. Then, barely under her breath, I don't know why she even bothered to show up. When Mr. Carrington, the estate attorney, appeared, we were ushered into a conference room that smelled like polished wood and finality. Lorraine took the center seat like she'd rehearsed it. I have a call with my financial planner at 3, she said without looking at me. Mr. Carrington simply nodded. Then let's begin. He opened the folder carefully. This version of the will is dated 5 years ago. I felt my pulse stutter. 5 years, not more recent. Lorraine didn't miss the shift in my face. Oh, sweetheart, she said, eyes gleaming. After our wedding we updated everything. Your father wanted to ensure the estate stayed in the real family. She still wouldn't say my father. He knew who was actually there for him, she added with mock sweetness. I clenched my jaw and said nothing. She couldn't wait. Lorraine leaned forward, her excitement no longer containable. As for Elise, she said, turning to me with a satisfied smile, she receives nothing. Mason smirked. Tessa let out a tiny squeal. Lorraine looked like she just crowned herself queen, until Mr. Carrington laughed, not a polite cough, a full-chested laugh. He shook his head. Forgive me, that was unprofessional. But Lorraine, do you know what a revocable trust is? Her smile twitched. Of course I do. And do you recall when Mr. Archer created one for Elise? He pulled out another folder. 28 years ago, amended just 13 months ago. Her voice cracked. He revoked that when we updated the will, did he? Carrington asked, sliding the amended trust documents forward. Because this trust transferred $50 million to Elise last year. Lorraine's skin went ghost pale. Mason's voice cracked. 50, actually, Carrington continued. It's closer to 57 now with growth. Tessa shrieked. What about the cars, the houses, all owned by the trust? He said, calm as ever, which means for the past 14 months you've been living off Elise's money. I finally spoke. Dad asked me to stay quiet to watch. He wanted to see if you'd change. Lorraine, she pushed her chair back, furious. This is fraud. We'll take you to court. Carrington slid a medical report across the table. Mr. Archer passed every cognitive test, 3 separate evaluations, full mental capacity. But why? Mason asked, dazed. Because I said, staring directly at them. He saw what you were doing. Mason, you opened credit cards in his name. Tessa, you bought jewelry and sent the bills to his account. Lorraine, you isolated him, altered his meds, and cut him off from people who cared. You can't prove any of that. She snapped. You're right, I replied. I don't have to. Dad already did. Carrington placed another folder on the table. Private investigator, 2 years of surveillance. He even looked into your first husband. Lorraine, I leaned in. He died from a medication mix-up too, didn't he? The silence was thick. Carrington straightened the paperwork. As for the will, it's simple. To Lorraine Archer, $1 to Mason and Tessa Whitmore, $1 each. The remainder already belongs to Elise. He placed 3 crisp dollar bills in front of them. I reached into my bag. And these are for you. 3 sealed envelopes, eviction notices. You have 30 days to vacate my properties, all of them. You can't do this, Lorraine shouted, standing so fast her chair toppled. You're a tenant, I said calmly. Living ran tree in my home, the estate, the lake house, the Manhattan condo, even Mason's secret city apartment. Mason's jaw dropped. How did you? The same way Dad knew about your gambling debts and Tessa's little online shopping problem. You weren't as clever as you thought. Carrington cleared his throat. There's one final item, a letter Mr. Archer requested Elise read aloud. He handed it to me. My hand shook slightly as I opened it. My dearest Elise, if you're reading this, our plan worked perfectly. I'm sorry for the secrecy, but I had to know the truth about Lorraine. Thank you for trusting me, for letting them believe they'd won. You were right all along. I was sick before I ever told anyone. I hoped she'd love me through it. Instead, she saw a target. I made sure you'd be safe, protected, provided for. They'll get what they deserve. You, my daughter, get everything I ever wanted to give you. My love, my legacy, my trust. I folded the letter, gently looked straight at Lorraine. You were right about one thing. Dad gave you exactly what you deserved. Outside, the sky felt brighter. My phone buzzed. Sharon, Dad's nurse. How did it go? She asked. Exactly how Dad knew it would. I said. I drove to the cemetery, left a single coral rose from Mom's old garden on his headstone. Smart beats clever every time, Dad, I whispered, and I meant every word. Greed can fake love, but it can't fake loyalty. In the end, the people who quietly protect you are worth more than the ones who loudly pretend to.